Welcome to the EGC Edge Marketing Podcast, where we provide you with the latest digital marketing news, performance marketing tips, and creative problem-solving skills you need to stay resilient in our fast-changing world of marketing. Listen each week and learn how to get the edge over your competition and grow.
Hello and welcome everyone to the EGC Marketing Edge podcast. I'm Max Ross, your host, and I'm thrilled to have Angela Mertz, EGC's Vice President of Integrated Media, joining me today. Our mission on this podcast is, as always, to provide you with practical and actionable advice to craft successful marketing strategies. Today, we're diving into the Super Bowl, which is not just a sports spectacle, but the epicenter of advertising. The focus this year will solely not be on the teams. It'll also be on the advertisers that are investing hefty sums. I believe it's $7 million now for a 30-second spot if you want to advertise in television for prime ad space. So Angela is going to be shedding some light on how to navigate Super Bowl marketing on a budget, revealing strategies for brands to maximize their promotions during the big game. Angela, it's great to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me. Very excited for the Super Bowl. I'm a huge football fan myself, so this is a very exciting time of year.
So a question that often comes up relates to the specific time slots during the big game that hold varying levels of value. This could be for TV or other channels as well. Could you elaborate maybe on the significance of timing in relation to Super Bowl ads?
Yeah, so for sure, everyone wants to be in game. Like that's the prime of the TV, especially for TV viewing, prime time. Your prime time is in game. And when I say that, I mean you want to be within the quarters, first, second, third or fourth quarter, not necessarily halftime, even though, yes, people do like to watch the halftime performances. Halftime itself, does lend itself a time where your millions and millions of views may drop because people are getting their snacks or going to the bathroom, whatever it is they may be doing. So those are the prime. However, most advertisers who aren't the large big box of the world aren't able to touch those. As you mentioned, the pricing of those is just ridiculous. So what they are able to do, a lot of the stations that are broadcasting, they're able to create packages. So my advice, explore those types of packages where you can buy around the Super Bowl. Let me tell you, the pregame, postgame, that still has millions of viewers, and it's still more than you're probably going to reach in your everyday 30-second commercial that airs on that same day part on any other Sunday. So my advice typically is that's how you should focus, really, is trying to create packages that work around the game, but not necessarily in game.
That's interesting. I was expecting halftime to also hold some, solid engagement, but I understand your logic. People.
It's weird too because there's so many millions of viewers that watch in one space. Everybody gathers together, but it's really only one impression according to set-top box data because it's in one household. But all the Super Bowl parties everybody goes to, how many people gather in a room and watch it on one TV set? So you have to almost double or triple some of the viewers that you expect. So your halftime viewership is still huge, but probably could be huger.
Most definitely. All right, let's switch gears a bit and we could talk about Super Bowl social media ads. So a statistic that jumped out to me was last year, the hashtag Super Bowl, I believe it was 52 on TikTok, actually produced 225 million views, which is actually more than double the live viewership of the big game. So how can brands ride the wave of second screen action on social media during this time of Super Bowl hype?
So a lot of it is real-time action too. So what I see, and we'll call it the Taylor Swift effect, but every single time she is shown somebody is going to post that on TikTok, and then somebody is going to share that, and then somebody else is going to share that again. So that's how those numbers really, really explode. It's really about what's happening in game oftentimes. I don't know if you remember, but a few years ago, the lights went out at the Super Bowl. Do you remember that? And that was all the rage. Everybody was talking about it. Brands took advantage of it. I think it was Oreo that said black and white never looks so good or something like that. That is the type of thing that you really, really, really want to take advantage of. So social media managers and of brands are watching closely. And if they're clever enough, can really, really take advantage of some of that real-time action that's going on and make a actually clever post, ad, whatever it is about it.
Yeah, definitely. The virality of those moments, they're really something to, behold.
You can't pay for that. Like it's just priceless.
Yeah, most definitely. Awesome. So, something that I do want to touch on is the rise of streaming services. I believe YouTube has the NFL Sunday Ticket. They're basically getting involved in all these new broadcasting opportunities. And, although national TV ads during the Super Bowl can take center stage, these, streaming ads are also, potentially quite interesting to explore. So could you perhaps share some, savvy approaches to navigate and succeed potentially in this new streaming landscape?
Yeah, so that's the one thing I do want to talk about, Max. It's a good point that you bring up because the Super Bowl, let's face it, it's not affordable for most advertisers. However, you can still be a part of it and get a piece of it and still say that you had Super Bowl presence. Maybe you just do it within the streaming platform. And the nice thing about the streaming platform portion is that you can buy just your geographic area. You could buy only certain amount of impressions and then cap yourself out. You're not beholden to all of the viewers and having to pay that huge ticket price. So that is one way that you can take advantage of maybe your smaller geography, maybe your tighter sort of area that you want to talk to. You can do that by purchasing it through the stream. You are going to get a different audience than you would get if you were on screen, but it can still put you as part of the hype. You can still say you're a Super Bowl advertiser and your brand is still in front of relevant people.
Fantastic. All right. So, although these national TV ads during the Super Bowl take center stage, we know that there are some local opportunities that also can be explored. So would you mind sharing with our listeners some benefits of local ad spots and maybe even, some examples of past projects? Of course, these don't have to be during the Super Bowl that might have performed well using these local opportunities.
Yeah. So that's along those same lines as if you do want to buy just a hyperlocal area, you can do that. And you could even do that within the Super Bowl. So yes, national ads, we're talking millions and millions of dollars. But if you can purchase a CBS, like this year it's airing on CBS. So you could purchase a CBS affiliate in your direct DMA in your designated market area that you are in. And if you're in a smaller market across the country, you, believe it or not, could get into the Super Bowl with local ad that is much more affordable and much closer to something that you'd be able to put into your budget. So I do recommend for brands that have maybe a national presence but have a certain focus in certain market areas across the country, take a look and see there may be affordable opportunities to be in the Super Bowl in specific market areas across the country. Obviously, New York, LA, they're always high, but many advertisers could affordably get into Chicago maybe, or you could affordably get into some other areas like even in Carolina, or if you're in Florida, there's certain areas in Florida where you could affordably reach the same Super Bowl audience just in your area alone. So that's definitely something I recommend that advertisers look into. And there's also Second to that, there's the Hispanic broadcast. There's always a Hispanic broadcast of the Super Bowl. That's every year, no matter who's holding the Super Bowl. The nice thing is those are usually very, very affordable too. And the Hispanic audience is very important for almost every advertiser. So it's another affordable route. And we've done that before for our clients at the agency. We've actually purchased and been Super Bowl advertisers, but we've done it through the Hispanic broadcasts.
Wow, it's a very interesting point to make. Fantastic. This has been an amazing bunch of info that you've delivered. I guess, before we wrap, is there any particular, we like to say, like a nugget of information that you would like to share with our, listeners, whether it's regarding media spend or maybe just trends that you're seeing in general, or maybe even, who your pick for the Super Bowl is, this is your chance to let us know what you're thinking about.
Well, I definitely do recommend the streaming. So I just, out of everything we talked about, all of it makes sense. Doing it all together and integrating everything together, that's my overall recommendation for any advertiser. Don't rely on just a Super Bowl ad in any capacity. It's not enough. Couple that with clever ways to approach social media and couple that with impressions in stream, and you will have an effective strategy. That is a very effective strategy. So my overall recommendation going forward, if you take anything from this podcast, it's definitely to take advantage of the different touch points for the same goal and the same audience. And I recommend that all the time, not just in the Super Bowl, but that is an effective approach for any kind of marketing campaign. But certainly for the Super Bowl, it resonates more with the audience if they see you in multiple touch points. And then my prediction for the Super Bowl is a tough one because I'm a fan of football. As I said, I watch it every week. And so I've been rooting for the Chiefs because they're good. They're a good team. But then Christian McCaffrey is a great running back on the 49ers, and I really, really like to watch him. And so I'm torn of who's going to win. But if chips are on the line, I think I would go with Patty Mahomes, and I think we're going to see the Chiefs pull it out.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you so much. As a reminder to all of our listeners, if you like what you heard, especially the Super Bowl prediction, we'll see if it comes to fruition. Please like, share, subscribe. We do have more content in the pipeline, which we are very excited to give to you all. So please keep an eye out, or ear out rather, for that. Thank you so much for attending, and we will see you all next time.